very horribly, disrespectfully even. That is how we should be treating unattractive people when they, come at us with any type of energy. I'm still sick, forgive me, but someone came to my comments because they needed help with something. Allow me to get little on you, if you would be so kind, okay? Well, yep, here I am. This comment right here. What should I do if I'm getting manipulated by a mid girl? For one, why is a mid girl in your life in the first place? And I know because you're calling her a mid that she must be chopped. And look, I'm not saying this to get at you personally, bro. We've all been there, but it's like if you are defending somebody, like in your mind, by calling them mid, I know, you're coming here complaining about it, so you're not necessarily defending. But what I mean is, you're coming here, someone you're sleeping with, someone you're spending extended period of time with, and you're like, you can't even be like, oh, she kind of pretty. Oh, she's a little cute. She's mid, man. She's chopped in the eyes of society, bro. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. I'm not gonna tell you which girl this was, but I remember there was a situation where I was talking to my friends. I was talking about it, and they're like, bro, like she's kind of mid. And that's when I knew she was chopped, okay? Because I'm like, they're trying to tell me that she's mid to spare my feelings. Before I get into the rest, okay, I've been streaming every day on Twitch, Bryce_Stell, and I have a lives count. I'm going to put both in the description. But you see what I mean? You have to free yourself from the shackles of the unattractives. I made a video about hyping up mid. You understand, this is how the inflation happens. This is how you get, these people on the internet thinking that there's something that they're not, or even posturing, because mind you, most people know what they are to an extent. Like I tell you guys all the time, I live a handsome life, okay? It gets the job done. But other people living less handsome lives, less beautiful lives, will get on there and they're living a midlife and they're trying to prop themselves up. That's why on social media you see so many people talking about their standards. Oh, my standards are high. Oh, I don't settle for a man who doesn't do da 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 da. I don't settle for a woman who doesn't do da 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 da. They don't mean it, bro. They're trying to convince you, because in your mind, if you're like, oh man, this person, they don't settle for anything. Crap, they must have high standards. Then you're gonna want to come correct. In reality, people with high standards don't get on the internet and throw around, oh, my standards are so high, this, that, and that. I don't think I've ever talked about my standards unprovoked. I'm be real with you, I'm so against that, I don't even do it now, bro. And I'm not even gonna say my standards are high. I'm not gonna say my standards are low. But it's like I have nothing to convince you. You know what I mean? Like there's no reason for me to make you feel like I have any type of standards. You know what? Because if someone meets me, and we start talking, they'll know. They'll know what standards I do or don't have. But a lot of people are insecure in a lot of things. Their look, their general vibe. So they feel like when they're with you and you're doing what they want you to do, again, you're saying this mid person is manipulating you. They feel like they're getting away with something. They feel like they're hitting a stain on you, all right? So they're like, all right, bet, like, let me keep it going. Oh my gosh, just read something. You know something I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put my Discord in the description as well. I don't know, I haven't been doing that. Yeah, hopefully you guys join. There's there's a vid suggestions thing in there too. You know what I mean? And because the thing is, I always look through the comments. I forget to look through the vid suggestions on here, but it's like I always can. If you feel like you really need to get to me. But anyways, back to this thing. You understand, when you allow an ugly person to feel special, to feel good about themselves, you ruin it for the next person. Because mind you, I don't know what you look like. You could be chopped yourself. I'm not. That's not an accusation. That's literally me saying I don't know. But because I'm not gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be real with you. Most people are chopped. Like that's just the nature of being. The vast majority of people on Earth you would deem to be not attractive. But it's like, when you fraternize amongst yourselves, unattractives with unattractives, that's completely fine, right? However, you don't want to be in a situation where you, as an unattractive person, meet another person who's not that attractive, but less unattractive than other people you've seen, and they want this, that, and the third from you. They're manipulating you, bro. See, like, skill-based matchmaking, we always talk about it. What the equivalent of you're doing when you let a mid person get away with that, when you let a chop person get away with treating you like shit, you're putting them in bot lobbies. So it's like they're winning the games, but they're not actually in real competition. So now they're going to get in ranked, and their plat is like, their elo is like plat, right? But in reality, their talent is like silver. As a matter of fact, you're boosting them, right? Like you're boosting them to plat. So then when they play in plat again, all their teammates are going to be like, bro, you're so trash. You're like silver. And then they're going to be like, oh, well, if I'm silver, how'd I get in plat? And it's going to be this endless cycle. You guys don't understand. This is even for attractive people. When you let people play in your face, when you let people disrespect you, you have to understand you are ruining it for the next person who comes along. Now, you may be thinking, oh, well, Bryce, I don't care about other people. Good point. Me neither. But what you should care about is revenge, okay? We all care about revenge. And I want you to think, bro. I want you to imagine this person who's playing you, this person who's treating you horribly. Imagine that someone else is the one to prove them that they're wrong. Someone else is the one to hold them accountable. And they're like, oh, okay, I get it. You sat in that situation. You were getting manipulated until you couldn't take it anymore. So you just sat back. You're like, fuck, shit, I'm just gonna call it a day. See, like, it's not even worth talking about. And trust me, I understand when it's not even worth talking about anymore, right? But imagine the next guy or girl comes along, dates them, and they do something weird, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And they're like, "What? Like, what do you mean? Like, this was never a problem before." Da, 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 da. Like, imagine the next guy or girl is the one to actually stand up for themselves and leave, and that person is like the first like switch that hits for them. You know, the first turning of the wheel. Something I take great pride in is when women tell me that I'm the first man they did something for, the first man who did something with them. You know, things of that sort. Like I've told you before. Oh, you know, I've never paid for a date before. Oh, I've never asked a man out before. Now you have. Congratulations. You're welcome. You're damn right. And things even beyond superficial things like that. Things like, oh my gosh, like you're the first person to really make me, you know, analyze myself and like where I'm at, da 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 da, and see if I'm healed, da da, you know, all that kind of bullshit. And it's not always sunshine and rainbows. There are times where you will be the first person to hold someone accountable, bro, and shit, they will be confused because they've never had it before. Because people in the past, and when I tell you, this happens to all kinds of people, like through all like varying, you know, genders and all that. But it happens a lot of the time to women, okay, because they are viewed by many people as the prize. And again, this can happen to an even average or mid woman. When you're used to dating people who see even being with you as an accomplishment, that absolutely changes your view to dating. Think about how certain women are raised through no fault of their own, bro. It's literally just how they're raised. Literally, oh, you're so pretty. Men should do everything for you. You know, they should put out the red carpet just for you, you know, breathe. And think about social media. What's popular right now? It's not popular to say, oh my gosh, you know, I love my man so much. I do all these nice things for him. Like if a post goes viral of like a woman doing something for her man, it's like, oh, well, what'd he do? Oh, girl, don't do all this. Oh, Canon experience. She's going to learn the hard way. And things you got to understand. They're all seeing that, okay? They're not all acting like that. A lot of them have common sense and they know not to act like that. But like all of them are seeing that. So yes, even the mid ones, the same way these chopped men look at red pill content and are like, oh yeah, like definitely, you know, even though I'm ugly, a woman should submit to me. Like, no, bro. It's like, bro, be that person, okay? Be the person to tell them what they're doing is not okay and that they're writing checks that they can't cash, basically. I've been in situations with certain women where I can tell, like, when I exit the situation, they're so upset. And are they upset because are you losing me? Yeah, partially. Okay, of course. I mean, who wouldn't regret something like that? Who wouldn't be crying to whatever God they believe in? Please bring them back, please. Okay, anyways, my point is, but a lot of it genuinely is the fact that they've never had someone be done with them before. They've never had someone not want them before. Like I've told you guys this before. Like I've been with plenty of women where they're like, yeah, you're like the first guy to not like almost instantly want a relationship with me, you know? So if there's already that aspect, right? The point where they've never been even soft rejected to the point of where I'm like, hey, like let's take a step back, let's know each other. Imagine being in a relationship where they were undoubtedly able to walk all over their partner until they realized, you know, for some reason, I just don't like them. And then break up. Again, you see it on social media. These are the narratives that are being pushed. Plenty of relationships where the man's input doesn't matter. Where, again, like you've seen those posts where it's like, oh man, like I've never had, like my man doesn't tell me no, da 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 da. They mean that. Like they genuinely have dated men who would never tell them no because those men didn't believe in themselves and those men are ruining it for the rest. Now, when I say ruining it for the rest of men, honestly, they're ruining it for the rest of the average looking men because attractive men, bro, Shorty can get kicked out any day, okay? And there'll be something new and it will work, trust. Because again, a lot of, you know, not just women, but people, when they see someone very attractive, they're going to lock in. They're gonna be like, okay, let me see. You know what I mean? So even the ones who don't, you can literally just move past and there'll be someone who will. Like if he don't, if she doesn't, another man will, that whole thing, like that actually works for attractive people. But the average man who's not getting thousands of matches on Tinder, you know, the average man who's not having women approach him, the average man who maybe has, like I'm literally just guessing a random number, like 5 dating candidates a year. When you put up with mistreatment, you're ruining it for him. You're putting him in a situation where he's going to get mistreated. And him being an average man most likely won't stand up for himself. And it'll be the same situation where, again, he's getting manipulated, you know, completely like fucked up. And next thing you know, she breaks up with him because for whatever reason, she's not feeling it. Perhaps because he let her walk all over him. So for the good of yourself and society, be that first thing in the sand. Be the first person to be like, okay, no, you're weird. That's why there's that whole narrative where it's like, oh my gosh, a man blocked me? That's so weird. In reality, bro, that crushes their spirit. Like they can get on here saying like, oh, that's sassy, whatever. But no, like getting blocked, like they're like, oh my gosh, like what do you mean he blocked me? It's a humbling experience. I'll never forget, bro. This one girl, I didn't text her for like a week, blocked me. I was like, what? Like, I was completely stunned. I was shell shocked, okay? Instantly. I mean, I didn't instantly get my entire act together, but like, I knew when I was locked in on someone, bro, I had to text them a bit more consistently. And the thing is, you may not everyone learns a lesson on the first time, okay? So you may not be the first guy, but imagine you're the second guy. The second guy, you know what? I don't like this person. Let me block them. Eventually, for the good of the order, they're gonna have to reflect internally if they have any brain cell in there. Now, mind you, not all people do have brain cells, unfortunately. And unfortunately, a lot of them are in certain, friends circles and friends groups where they're never going to tell them that they're the problem. So it's your job to push it, okay? It's honestly, not gonna lie, I'm gonna say our. Let's team up real quick. It's our job to get that in their heads, because look, they can have a billion friends telling them, "Oh my gosh, it's just that these people you're dating, they're insecure. Oh, they're not good enough for you. Oh, they're self-sabotaging." Da da da. They can say all that shit, but if they're facing rejection after rejection after ghost after ghost after rejection, eventually they're gonna be like, maybe I gotta re-examine my approach. And if they don't do that, eventually they'll just give up on dating entirely. Either way, that's a W. All right. Now, something else I should touch on a little bit is, why are you talking to someone that you think is mid or unattractive in the first place? And how are they even in a position to manipulate you? Well, I'd say, if I was ever talking to someone, bro, that I thought was, do I want to give numerical or just less than a certain amount of attractiveness, I wouldn't do shit they said, ever. They complained, wouldn't respond to the text. Never give them the time of day. And I don't understand why you would. Like, they're legitimately not worth anything. Like, am I saying they're worthless as people? But like, no, on paper, no. But like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're already gonna stoop down to hell by talking to an unattractive person, you might as well not listen to anything they have to say. Because imagine, bro, I want you to imagine an ugly person, like, you accomplish something in life, like say you win the lottery, and then some ugly person comes out of the cut and they're like, "Oh yeah, when I was talking to this person, I had them doing whatever I want. I completely manipulated them." You know how disgusting that would be? You know how much that would ruin your victory, bro? There'd be people like me judging you. I'd make a video about it. I'd be like, "Bro, this person who won the lottery got dragged through the mud by this chopped individual." It's like, you need to think, bro, and you need to believe in yourself to the point where you're like, "I can do better than this chopped person." Unless you're chopped yourself, because in that case, then you most likely can't. But I want you to settle for one of two things, okay? If you're chopped, either a chopped person, fellow chopped person, mid person who treats you right, or above average looking person who treats you horribly. Okay, one of the two, but not a combination of the worst parts of both. And these are more problems that go away when you have a roster. Have a roster, people. Like, have I not made that video yet, bro? I couldn't advise it even more. If you have even if they're all mid, bro, if you have a roster full of mid shit, they're never gonna manipulate you, because you'll just go to another mid shit. Have options. Never be single. Always keep a couple. And I don't understand. And people are like, "Oh, but like, that's too much time to put in." Then put in less time. Put in less time with each of them, bro. Even just have a roster of 3. Have 3 people on the roster that you can alternate between. One's acting out, then you got 2 left. Nightmare situation, 2 are acting out, then you still got 1 left. When you put yourself in a situation where you lack options, you're going to treat your one option like the only option. You're going to deal with things you should never deal with. You're going to put up with so many things that you would never put up with if you realized that this is not the last person for you. This person that you're calling mid in my comment section most likely is not your future wife. So why on God's green earth are you putting up with the foolishness? Again, I understand, bro. If you want to stay there because you're comfortable and you don't really want to do anything new right now, understandable. But if you're not even being treated good, what's the point? Like, seriously, sit and ask yourself. Ooh, I'm gonna drop my phone. Sit and ask yourself, like, why you're doing all this. You gotta have respect for yourself to understand that this person that you see right now, that you got in front of you, you can literally get another one. They are very replaceable. The only limitations there are the limitations that you give yourself. Okay, so that's why you gotta believe in yourself, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Get on those apps. Get on those apps. I mean, like, you didn't make it sound like it was a girlfriend or something. Get on those apps immediately. Have some good pictures. Bro, y'all be afraid to get on the apps. Get on the app. Honestly, not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to make a dating app video too now that I think about it. Y'all think dating apps are so, bro? I saw someone in my stream one day said that they're like, "Oh yeah, going on like a pop the balloon," because that's what we were watching. They're like, going on a pop the balloon is like the same as like going on dating apps. So like, it's just as embarrassing. No, it's not. How? Having an account on the internet where it's like, okay, for one, wanting to hook up, nothing embarrassing about it. It's only embarrassing if it's an implication that you can't get anybody, right? But that's never how I've looked at it. Like, do you really go through there and scroll through the other people and like say you're looking at women, you're like, oh wow, she can't get a man, she can't get a man. That's never crossed my mind. And I would hope not that like they see me and are like, oh man, this dude, he can't get any women, bro. He's on dating apps because he can't get women. It's about getting more, not about getting them, period. Now, mind you, for you, you could get no women, right? You could get no women, you could get no men. That could be what it's about for you. You could be completely holeless, right? But nobody has to know that. Now, mind you, what might be embarrassing is being on Tinder, Hinge, being like, hey, I'm looking for love, I'm looking for my person. That's a little bit more embarrassing. But you don't even have to say that, even if you are. You can just be like, chilling, seeing where things go. And I also have to make that video about not over pursuing relationships. But you know what I mean? Dating apps are not embarrassing unless you make them embarrassing. But again, that's a video for another day. But yeah, all in all, talk to somebody else. Don't let a mid person treat you like that, dog. Move on. There's more efficient. There's more attractive fish in the sea, I promise. But anyways, that's the video. I know this one's a little bit shorter. You guys probably gonna be mad again. But hey, man, dude, I was sick again today. I don't know what it is. There's something about like the morning time specifically. Like when the sun starts coming up, I literally start like feeling like sick, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't move. And then like I sleep for like a million hours. Like today I woke up at like 7 p.m. But anyways, but I thought, I was like, bro, because I was like, man, I can't give another like, oh man, like big state of affairs, I'm sick video. I'm like, let me do an actual video. You know, if it flops due to the time postage, then that's something I gotta deal with. But yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, everything I have to say, and I love you. Okay, have a great day, night, evening, morning.